come on. That's a bunch of horse shit. Lando Calrissian was a black guy, you know. He got to fly the Millennium Falcon. What's the matter with you?
Who said that?
I did. Lando Calrissian is a positive role model in the realm of science fiction fantasy.
Oh, fuck Lando Calrissian, Uncle Tom, nigga. Always some white boy gotta invoke the Holy Trilogy. Bust this. Those movies are about how the white man keeps the brother man down, even in a galaxy far, far away. Check this shit. You got cracker farm boy Luke Skywalker, Nazi poster boy, blonde hair, blue eyes. And then you got Darth Vader, the blackest brother in the galaxy, Nubian god.
What's a Nubian?
Shut the fuck up. Now, Vader, he's a spiritual brother, you know, down with the Force and all that good shit. Then there's Cracker, Skywalker. Gets his hands on a lightsaber, and the boy decides he's gonna run the fucking universe. Gets a whole clan of whites together. And they gonna bust up Vader's hood, the Death Star. Now what the fuck do you call that?
Intergalactic Civil War?
Gentrification. They gonna drive out the black element to make the galaxy, quote, unquote, safe for white folks.
And Jedi's the most
Insulting installment, because Vader's beautiful black visage is sullied when he pulls off his mask to reveal a feeble, crusty old white man. They trying to tell us that deep inside, we all wants to be white.
Well, isn't that true?
It was 1996, and director Kevin Smith was fresh off of his second film, the studio-financed blockbuster flop Mallrats. After a commercially successful debut film and disappointing follow-up, Smith decided to go back to his roots as an independent filmmaker. His third picture, which would wrap up his New Jersey trilogy, would be a departure from the raunchy, lowbrow comedy that he was becoming known for. The sex jokes, of course, would still be in abundance.
I've had my finger up my ass. I wouldn't say I've had anal sex.
Kevin opted to tell a more serious story, placing Chasing Amy in the dramedy genre, a perfect term given a more balanced and intellectual screenplay. The film wouldn't just make us laugh, it proved to be thought-provoking and strangely philosophical, while doing its best to cram in Smith's brand of dick and fart jokes.
All every woman really wants, be it mother, senator, nun, is some serious deep dicking.
The story, a tale about a set-in-his-way New Jersey-based comic book artist who falls for a lesbian, was loosely based on his relationship with actress Joey Lauren Adams, who aside from playing a supporting character in Mallrats, also plays the female lead in Chasing Amy. Interestingly enough, when Smith pitched the film to Miramax, Bob and Harvey Weinstein wanted an A-list cast, namely Drew Barrymore, Jon Stewart, and David Schwimmer. The roles eventually went to Joey Lauren Adams, Jason Lee, and Ben Affleck, the latter two having played rivals in Smith's last film. The film features Lee as Banky Edwards, an insecure tracer who lessens his intelligence by throwing out gay jokes.
You fucking tracer! Your mother's a tracer! Faggot? Fucking faggot, man. Did you see that? Your dyke courting ass just got me scored on. I'll play your victim, but not your catcher, all right?
His partner, Holden McNeil, played by Affleck, is a struggling artist who is stuck in commercial hell due to the success of his breakout comic series, Blunt Man and Chronic.
Snoochie booches, huh?
Snoochie booches. Who the fuck talks like that? That is fucking baby talk.
During a minority panel, we're introduced to mutual friend Hooper X, a gay black man who hides his sexual orientation through the promotion of his Black Power book, White Hatin' Coon. After explaining the hidden racism that dominates the Star Wars trilogy, Hooper introduces Holden and Banky to Alyssa Jones, a hip Jersey girl that immediately captures Holden's eye.
Yeah, do you remember Alyssa Jones? She used to hang out with...
Hey, Caitlin Breen!
This Alyssa is the same character referenced by Dante in Clerks, and also happens to be the older sister of little Trisha Jones from Mallrats, once again bridging Smith's otherwise unrelated films. After connecting at a bar, Holden proceeds to hook up with Alyssa, blind to the fact that, surprise, surprise,
this girl is gay.
However, as any lesbian is apt to do, Alyssa chases Holden down and forces him to accept her for who she is. Holden decides to befriend her, and of course begins falling in love with her. Despite Banky questioning the status of their friendship, Holden decides to put everything on the line, and in a 4-minute monologue, lets Alyssa know how he feels.
I love you.
You love me.
This isn't something I said.
This scene is the pivotal turning point in the movie because, as the audience, we understand the conflict. Here's a man who is decidedly conservative with his lifestyle, asking a lesbian to accept her love of a heterosexual. The foregone conclusion? She leaves the vehicle starking mad. Of course, in traditional cinematic storytelling, Alyssa turns around and embraces Holden, throwing away her former belief structure for a man. While Holden tries to understand why she made her decision, Alyssa finds herself at the scrutiny of her lesbian friends.
Another one bites the dust.
Interestingly enough, her lesbian lifestyle isn't what throws the monkey wrench into the relationship. Her past is. While digging up past dirt, Banky finds an old yearbook that gives Alyssa the name Finger Cuffs. Without going into detail here, you can pretty much picture the rest on your own time. Just know that it involves Rick Darris, the smart-ass weightlifter who taunted Dante in Clerks, and the fact that Alyssa has a promiscuous past with members of both sexes. This sends Holden into an upheaval, which puts a damper on their relationship. Near the end of the film, Holden has no idea what to do, and just when he thought we had heard no more from those two lovable street merchants, guess who show up at the last minute. While Silent Bob, played by Kevin Smith himself, doesn't say more than 10 words in either of Smith's prior films, his appearance in Chasing Amy is profound because in Holden's time of need, he actually reveals an entire story dealing with his own insecure past.
Chasing Amy. What? What did you say? You're chasing Amy.
What do you look so shocked for, man? Fat bastard does this all the time. He thinks just because he don't say anything, it'll have some huge impact when he does open his fucking
Jesus
mouth?
Christ, why don't you shut up? Was yapping all the time. Give me a fucking headache.
Holden does some soul-searching and then brings Banky and Alyssa together in a confrontation that will hopefully bring them all together. I don't want to ruin the ending, and one of the reasons is because, like this review, the film doesn't seem to have much closure. It leaves you mesmerized, and while the events aren't as dramatic as those of Titanic and Pearl Harbor, it still manages to leave you with an impression that you were just through a heartbreaking experience. You feel for these characters, and the film doesn't excuse itself or even try to explain what happened. It ends the way one would expect it would in real life, which makes it all the more powerful. Chasing Amy isn't one of the funnier films in Smith's catalog, but it's not supposed to be. It's emotionally effective and very memorable. And unlike Mallrats and Clerks, which wear off after time, you could still watch Chasing Amy years down the road and it still has the same effect. It wears you down. Aside from the references I already mentioned, there's a small scene near the beginning where Holden and Alyssa are hitting it off at the bar, and Alyssa makes references to both Julie Doyer's death and Caitlin's infamous fucking the dead guy, both which originated with Clerks.
Quick stop.
My best friend fucked a dead guy in the bathroom.
You know that girl?
I did, before she was committed.
She also mentions the Quick Stop and the Eden Prairie Mall, both of which are the prominent locations in Smith's past two films. Tune in next week and we'll explore Smith's biblical fantasy film, Dogma.